Hey everybody, welcome back to our show this week. I'll tell you what, and I will tell you what, look at that beautiful sunrise. Hey, this is definitely something that we have not done this year. We don't, it's amazing how fast time goes by, but we've got our good friend Lightning Lance Sweeting in the boat today. Hey, usually he's too busy guiding and I'm too busy either guiding or obviously out filming stuff. Lightning, what's shaking, man?
Well, we've got a morning off and we're going fishing, Larry.
People always think of Winnebago as like great fishing in April, May, June, and July. And the fishing really has gotten better than it was earlier. Earlier in the year, we were catching a lot of 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 inchers. Now it seems like consistently the fish are over 15 inches and a lot of nice 18 to 19 inchers.
Yeah, we're seeing a good class out here, like you said, 16 to 19 inches. Our rocks are actually still holding on for this late in the year.
What do you think that is?
What you're gonna see today is we're fishing structure and we're fishing, I like to fish a lot of weeds around structure.
Okay.
And we'll go into detail a little bit later when we're out there as we're doing it. But that's basically what we're targeting, sharp drop-offs, weeds close by. Weeds hold a lot of fish. It's a key thing. When you're around weeds, what I've noticed, even on calm days, that water is generally staying around weeds up on top of rocks.
Okay.
You get 200 yards away from it, you'll see that water clear up. Whether it's the plankton or what have you that holds onto the weeds, if there's a little current blowing, it's blowing dirty water away from them weeds. The weeds hold on to dirty water, and that's where the fish are gonna be.
Hey Lance, a little bit different today for you. You got a windshield and you got a steering wheel.
I'm in a Sally boat this morning, Larry.
Hey, you guys.
We'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, we will. Hang on to your heinies. Let's go catch some fish. Hey everybody, I'll tell you what I'm gonna start off with. I've got two rods set up here. I've got one with super braid on it, and I've got a 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader with a number 7 Countdown Rapella. That's a Lance go-to bait right there. This is a great rod here for casting cranks. It's a 6/8 Megs custom, medium fast. It's got great action, great response to it. The other rod I'm going to be using, I'm going to be casting an 1/8 ounce jig. And now I talked about this rod a couple of weeks ago. This is a 7-foot light fast. And as you can see, it's a really soft tip rod right here. It's got plenty of backbone on it. I've got it set up with 6-pound test, regular mono on here. And again, I'm using 1/8 ounce jig to start off with here. The wind's not real strong. And that's really, if it was flat calm, I would have a 1/16 ounce on here. Now we've got maybe about a 10 to 1 foot chop. So I want a little bit heavier jig. We're gonna be casting a lot of water that's between 4 and 6.5 feet. Medium fast is a great rod. Like I said, it's really versatile. And again, 6-pound test line on it.
There's one.
Got him?
Little guy again.
Another small one, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't feel that big.
Oh, I got one too, Lance. Got a pot of them sitting here. Got a double going. This mine feels pretty good.
One.
Yeah, mine's a nice one, Lance. I got a really good one. I'm just gonna flip them.
Yep.
There's a good fish right there. Now that fish I'll definitely keep. That's a 16.5 incher right there. And Lance just lost one on the crankbait. And it's always kind of nice to mix it up a little bit. One guy on a jig and a half a crawler, the next guy maybe on a crankbait. But Lance, let's talk about this bite. Why is this bite so good when typically Winnebago a lot of years shuts down?
You know what, the bite on these weeds here, Larry, and up on top of the rocks, I think it a lot has to do with all the forage that we have in the system right now.
Okay.
This spring, we've seen up in the bays and the shallow, warmer water, schools and schools of the shiners, and I think they're all finally working out in the bay here, using these weeds as cover, and that's why we're targeting the weeds and the structure on the rocks.
When I'm putting a worm on, what I like to do is thread that crawler. I typically like the head better, but everybody's got their opinion on their favorite part of the crawler. Is it the tail, is it the head? But what I want to do is I want to make sure that comes right straight off the bend of that hook. And so it looks more natural versus trying to curl. And I'm basically making cast as far as I can cast. Always closing the bail by hand, which is important, keeps some wind knots out of there. And I'm pulling real slow. I can just feel that jig ticking them weeds. And that's the part you gotta kind of determine, is that a weed hanging up on my line or is that a fish? And that's the nice part about having a real sensitive rod like this, where it's got a real fast tip on it, soft like that, is that you can actually put quite a bit of pressure on that. I just had a bite right there before that fish is gonna drop it. And typically you'll feel that fish turn its head, and that's when I set the hook.
There's one.
Got him? Yep. Nice job, Lance.
That'll be a walleye. A little better one here, Larry.
You know, that's the nice part about, again, the crankbait, is that typically 90% of the fish you catch are either walleye or smallmouth. You're not getting the drum.
Not as many sheephead. You still see a few, but...
Yeah, definitely nice fish. There you go.
We haven't seen this class out here.
No, we haven't. You know, that's in that... That's
try to up and in here.
Yep. Ooh, that's a little too big, eh?
A little too big for us. We don't have a lot. We haven't seen a lot of the fish this size out in the system.
And let's talk about that.
Even when I'm out with clients, Larry, if we're on good numbers bite, I'd rather keep the 14 to 16 inchers. And this isn't huge by any means, but...
And you know, the big thing is, Lance, too, is that something to remember, everybody, is that, you know, most bodies of water, the most productive spawning fish in every biologist, you know, and I always take a lot of things from the guys at Walleyes for Tomorrow. They're probably some of the most knowledgeable people I know. 18 to 22 inches are the most productive fish. You know, right, and I've been saying this for a long time, and so has everybody else, so it's not just me, is that it certainly would be nice to have a slot limit out here, just to even try it for 5 years to see what it would do. Again, if you're protecting the main spawners 18 to 22 inches, I don't know how you can go wrong.
What's it gonna hurt? There's plenty of eaters out here. You're only gonna help the situation.
Right, let's get that fish back in. Nice job, Lance. Gone. Nice job. Here we go, Lance. Yeah. That's another good fish right there. I'll tell you what, perfect eating sized fish. Like Lance just caught that 18-incher. Again, when you start thinking about that, again, that's one of them are the prime spawners right there. So you also let them fish go, especially when you got a lot of these 14 to 18-inch fish back in the system like this. If we only had a slot limit, I'm telling you, I know it would work. I don't know a lot, but I'll take a slot.
Well, we're casting today. Larry's using live bait. I'm using crankbaits. I'm using the number 7 countdown Rapalas. These have been around since day one, since I've been fishing. What's nice about these baits for casting is the torpedo shape of them and heavy balsam. I can cast 50, 60 feet per cast, if not further. And to be honest, we've got 2 to 3 inch minnows out here, and this is exactly what they're looking like. So the fish love them, great bait to cast. Perch is a go-to, black and gold is a go-to. We've done well on the trouts this year. In the springtime, I like to use more of the natural colors, the black and silver and the blue and silver. Later in the year, I'll go to different colors. When the water's really dirty, I'll go with the fire tiger or the green trout. Then fish can see them from a longer distance away. So that's basically what I'm throwing out here.
But yeah, no, now put it in last. There we go. Last Wednesday. Here we go. Feels like the right flavor. Yeah, nice fish right there. There we go, nice fish right here. Let's flip them up. Perfect right there. And I had a bite, the cast before this. Again, now we're kind of switching things up a little bit, but again, if you look at the locator, we're moving about a half mile an hour, and which is perfect. That's why we got the drift sock out. Lance is casting the crankbait. Now, if we were both casting a crank, we wouldn't need to have the drift sock out. With the wind right now is probably about 6-8 miles an hour, but putting that drift sock down helps me out with the jig and the crawler because my presentation's a lot slower than Lance's. If you look at, like, he's probably getting about a 1-to-2, 1-to-3 ratio as far as casts versus what I'm doing. I'm working my bait a lot slower, and it's been about 50-50. His fish have been just a little bit nicer, but again, it's kind of nice to mix that up like that. This guy's like, I want to go in that live well, and that's exactly where you were going, my friend, I can tell you that much. You know, when you look at what we're fishing here, Lance has got me fishing right on the edge. It comes up to about, 3 foot right here, and the weeds are a little too thick, but he wants to stay on these scattered weeds right there. So he's casting basically his countdown Rapala is just ticking these tops of these weeds right here. And so these fish are probably laying right about here, and they're seeing that bait come through, and they're just coming right out of it like that. So again, when I come up too shallow, you'll see how thick these weeds are right here, everybody. That's a little bit too thick. The fish like to lay on the very edges where the weeds basically start. What you say, Lance?
Yes, yep.
Hey everybody, this week's tip of the week brought to you by our good friends up at Mike's Country Meats in Tigerton, the finest jerky on the planet. Hey, I'll tell you what, Lance just asked me, do I get bit by them black flies a lot, the house flies, all the time? They're ankle biting son of a guns.
Yeah, pick it up at Quick Trip.
That's one of my favorite places to get gas, food, everything.
Yep, Coleman insect repellent, 40% DEET. Like you say, them black flies, you have no warning. All of a sudden,
they're biting
there's
the
a
snot
quarter-inch
out of
by
you.
quarter-inch piece of meat out of your ankles.
Right.
And they only bother the ankles for some reason, but 10, 11 o'clock, they start flying around, start smacking at your ankles, and just spraying this on your ankles. Keeps them away.
Hey, and why is it like you could be out on the lake, you could be 10 miles out, 20 miles out, and them things,
where do they come from?
They come out of nowhere.
Aren't they maggot larvae?
I guess
I don't
so.
see any garbage cans out here.
Right. Hey, again, this week's tip of the week brought to you by our good friends up at Mike's Country Meats, the finest jerky on the planet. So you're thinking the wind is definitely crucial when it comes to this.
The wind is a big help. The one thing with the weeds, even when it's flat calm, you can still catch them out of the weeds. That water's dirty.
Right.
And them weeds are the walleyes are just going underneath the weeds in the shade to hide from the sun or ambush their prey.
Right.
Whereas if you get on the other structure when it's flat calm with the zebra mussels that we have, it's gonna clear up fairly quick, and they have no cover there.
Right. And the fish that are sitting there, most of them are negative.
Right. Whereas out in the weeds, you're still gonna catch fish even when it's flat calm. Now that it's laying down, Larry.
Yeah.
Can you see this wall here?
Yep.
We're in 6 feet. Oh, I just had one hit it right here.
I got one too.
I got a nice one.
Yeah, I got one. I think I got a sheephead, but we'll find out. Yeah, you got a good fish.
I got a nice walleye.
It just shows you right here, Lance, that the sheephead, the walleyes, they all lay together.
Yep.
I've always said that these two don't get, if you're catching sheephead.
You got a glimpse of that one?
If you're catching sheephead, don't think that there's no walleyes there. Nice fish right there.
Catch and release.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hold that one up too. Now that's a perfect fish to keep and eat, if you want to keep another fish. But that is the cool part. We had about a half hour, Lance, where the wind wasn't blowing real hard and the fish got a little bit tougher to catch.
Yep. There's one.
Nice. Oh, lightning. Man, oh man, you are on fire now with that crankbait, and nice fish too.
Yep.
The crankbait is an awesome bite because I love the way they just absolutely slam it. Again, everybody, look at the quality of these fish that we're catching today. Earlier in the year, it was, again, all 12, 13, 14 inchers. I can't imagine what this system would be like, again, preaching to the choir. I know it, if we had a 15-inch size limit or a slot. Nice fish.
That one's 15, 16.
I switched to a crankbait because Lance got the last 3 on that, and it's just kind of nice to get that different feel. And man, oh man, this is the old Lance special. I can tell you this: if you're ice fishing with the guy, you typically only got one bait. It's called Gold Hammer. You know what? I got a pattern going here now. If you're open water fishing with him, most of the time, what does he got? Black and gold. He's got something about gold, right? I'm surprised the guy actually doesn't have a bunch of gold chains around his neck, you know? Hey Lance, I'll tell you what, the last couple of fish that you've gotten, you basically are starting to pause that bait a little bit more, and that's when they seem to be hitting it.
It was just by mistake the first time, Larry. I went to pause, or went to adjust the bow mount, pulled the pole, and one had it in. So since then, I've done a few pauses like you guys were doing on some northern fishing.
Yeah.
And if the fish are just a little bit more lethargic right now, I'm not sure, but that pause is definitely doing the job.
Hey Lance, is it by chance that you don't have a girlfriend too?
You made it 4 hours now, Larry, without saying a word.
Built for fishermen, built by fishermen. Really, that says it all.
It's the family here. It's not a big conglomerate, it's a family.
They treat you feel like you're in a family, you know.
When you put those two together, an amazing product and amazing people, it's just the type of company you want to be involved with.
Not only because of just the great boats, but because of the camaraderie that the Warrior family has.
The customer service is amazing. They never leave you hanging.
So come join the Warrior family. All day long. There's nothing wrong with that. Lefty a little bit.
There's a hit.
Yeah, good job. Yep, there you go, Lance. Man.
Dutch haul on this one?
Dutch haul it. See if you can make it, buddy.
See if we can make her. There we go. Yeah, we just came into a new spot here, Larry. Different spot, another set of rocks and weeds. I got a steep drop off. You know, the weeds are up on 3-4 feet.
Yep.
And on this drop off here, it actually drops down to 8-9 feet fairly quick.
So why aren't you using a crankbait in this spot? Why just a live bait
with
and a
that
jig?
With that steep of a drop off, my crankbaits aren't getting there fast enough, and these fish seem to be within the first 50 feet of them weeds.
All right, so that you're pulling that live bait with that jig off of that shelf right
There's
there.
that weeds. It's dropping down. It's like them walleyes are just laying underneath there, watching bait fish go over the top of them, and
that's a nice
they smack
fish.
them. That's a nice one.
Let's
there.
let that one go. Wow. You gotta love that. I love it when you come into a spot and boom, the first
Second
cast.
Boom.
Second cast?
Second cast.
Oh, you snuck one in on me.
Yep. Hey everybody, don't forget to pick up a latest subscription of Banner Sportsman magazine. It's got all the latest articles and techniques of the types of fishing that we do around here, mainly Wisconsin, Midwest, and a lot of hunting articles. One of the best magazines out there local to our state.
Here we go, Lance. I got something feels good. I don't know, it feels good. I'm not sure if it's a sheephead. Oh, look at that walleye.
Nice.
That's a nice fish. Man, Lance, I'll tell you what, look at that. I am so much loving this, you know. Boy, again, you know, when you start thinking about these fish are all in that 15 to 17, 18, that might be another 18-incher right there. Oh.
Is that one healthy? That one's been eating for its size.
Oh, man. Look at that fish, everybody. 18 and a quarter, 18 and a quarter right there. Nice fish like that. Like I said, these are the most productive fish in the system right here. Let's let her go. See ya, honey. Yeah. Hey, Lance, I'll tell you what. So we don't have to grab the rain gear. Let's maybe hit one last spot on the way in, maybe, and let's head on in. Hey, what a great day we had today, buddy. You know what? I want to thank you very much. You know what? You and I haven't had any time to spend together on the water since ice fishing. You know, him and I get sick of each other ice fishing, but open water, he's busy guiding, I'm doing some guiding, you know, I'm filming, but no doubt this guy is an awesome guide. You want to learn a lot, you want to have a lot of fun. Give Lance a call and let's tell him how to do it.
Best way to get a hold of me is area code 920-410-9920 or greatdayguiding.com.
And if you're a single lady,
easy now.
looking for a guy
We're busy
that lives on the
fishing.
lake, right? Hey everybody, what an awesome day we had today out on Lake Winnebago with Lance. I'll tell you what, this guy lives on the lake and he is so knowledgeable and always on top of what's going on out on the system. Hey, you definitely want to give him a call. Remember, great day guide service, and it always is a great day when you're in the boat with Lightning Lance for sure. Hey, make sure you guys also check out our podcast, which is on every Tuesday. We Eat, Fish Eat. We're actually gonna have the Lightning on in the next couple weeks, and it's a great way to learn more things that are happening on the water and off the water. So make sure you check out, again, our podcast, We Eat, Fish Eat. Hey, we wanna give special thanks to all of our military men and women. Thank you very, very much for all the great things that you do for us and the freedom you give us in this country, and all of our law enforcement agents. And no doubt, what a great day it is to be alive, and we'll see you next week.
Look at that one.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Lance. Oh, darn it. We go fishing, right?
Or some days maintenance issues, but
Right. So you wonder why he doesn't have a girlfriend. Ladies, just so you do know, I always have to throw this in there. He is still single and he does have a house on the lake. And here's the other part, ladies, that you don't see a lot. The guy still will open the door for you, right? Unbelievable.